Of course, there is a big gap between members of parliament and the public. The people that voted for this member of parliament, there's a big gap. And everybody goes on leave after they are voted in. There is no continuous relationship with the public. You see, it's time. I was thinking it's time when we can say, we can differentiate between bad and good. This is what the youths have seen, that we have not done that. You see, when we say the legislation must be independent, they should also know that they are answerable to the public. But they cannot know that they are answerable to the public if there is nothing to hold them accountable. And when I mean accountable, the public must have the power to remove them. If they see that these guys are not attending to their needs, they should be removed. Every time you see people in parliament, they're just quarreling and quarreling and quarreling. Are you telling me the youths are happy about that? Are you making laws or are you just quarreling? You are supposed to go there to represent the public and bring the public's problems to the house. This is what the people are saying. It's not always about getting into power. That shouldn't be the case. If you spend about your strategies and why you're unsatisfied because you want to come into power, then we have lost the direction. The youths are saying, what is your job as members of parliament? You are supposed to be making these laws that will change the political paradigm of Zambia. That will ensure that the cabinet ministers are not abusing their powers. They are not abusing their office. They are not stealing money to build their own houses. They are not stealing money to have a very luxurious life. Of course, if you try to figure out and do your maths better, I don't know if there's any minister that will walk out without handcuffs. Now, this is what is really frustrating the youths. And I salute you, Zambian youths. This is what is making them so unhappy. Is because we have made this house here of parliament to be a joke. This should be the most important house, the most important organ of the state. This one, the legislation, they make the laws. They should know that they should make the laws that will shape the country. The point when I was talking about the rule of man. Once the parliament has that power and they make those laws, the president will not do anything to influence them. Because they have the power to make the law of removing the president from office. It's only this parliament that make those laws. It's only the parliament that can actually make laws that will speed up anything that will entail or be defined as a way of removing the president from office once he commits a crime. It's this parliament. It's the only body that is got that authority and power, because it's the highest law-making body, the supreme law-making body in Zambia. It's the parliament. That's why those people go to the parliament. You don't have to have degrees, masters, PhDs. No! You don't need all that stuff, because you are making the laws according to the customs and culture of where you live. You are making the laws that affects your people. Don't make the textbook laws. You go and read in the book and then make the laws. No. Leave that to other people who will have that objective to look at that. You are making laws that should change and give Zambia a hand, access to all the natural resources of the country. If the president lives in an ivory tower, everyone should live in an ivory tower. It's you who can make those laws. if the president drinks clean water, everybody in Zambia, everyone should drink clean water. If the president and the minister can go to India for treatment, close all the hospitals in Zambia, everybody starts going to those hospitals because you have enough money to do that. Now, this is why we're saying the legislature must be independent. They should not be part of the cabinet. They should not be part of the judiciary. Now, let me move to the judiciary. How can we make the judiciary independent in order to eradicate the rule of man? One, immediately you say the legislature, the parliament, has no authority over the judiciary. Right now, it's unbelievable. The youths know this, that at the moment, the judge of the country appointed to be a judge, the supreme judge of Zambia, is vetted by the parliament. Is vetted by the parliament. Who is the majority in parliament? Tell me. Is he not from the ruling party? He's from the ruling party. Therefore, if the ruling party are the majority in parliament, and when it comes to vetting the Supreme Court judge, what will they do? Vetting the Constitutional Court judges, what do they do? Of course, it's simple, reasonable. It's simple and reasonable that they will choose someone who favor and promote the interest of the ruling party. So you have already a compromised judges, compromised completely, because they will only be supported by the members of parliament. They will vote for you because you are going to favor the interest of the ruling party. That's why I laugh sometimes when I talk to my colleagues who are in the legal community and they tell me, oh, the judges are impartial. How impartial can you be if you are vetted into that office by the majority of the ruling party members? No. That's why the judiciary must be independent in such a way that they demonstrate impartiality. When you have such kind of a judiciary, you are going to see that thieves, both in politics, people are breaching the law, both human rights laws and other domestic laws, will be held accountable with the principle of free and fair. They will not be imprisoned because they belong to the ruling party. No. They will not be imprisoned because, or they will not be let free because they are a friend of somebody in government. No. Because those judges are independent. How do we get these independent judges in Zambia? We need to change the laws again by the members of parliament. They are the ones who need to change these laws. That's why they are custodian of the law of Zambia. It's them. They are supposed to change the law. They should change the law. However, it needs also some kind of technocrat involvement in structuring this. Also ordinary people involved in structuring this. Because what you need is to ensure that judges from the lowest rank of a judge, from the magistrate, they should be recruited through a professional system created and designed by professional human resource experts, so that judges are recruited and they are vetted by the public, not the parliament, no, by the public. Advertise for a job of a judge in the public tabloid. When you advertise, get the names, shortlist them, put them in the public tabloid. Let the public say, we don't want Mr. Tsela, we don't want Mr. Hamwamba, we don't want Mr. Piri, we don't want Mr. Mulemba, we don't want Mr. Nyambe, we don't want Mr. Mfula, because they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. Vet them, shortlist them, get that number. Call them for interviews. Establish an independent body specifically to deal with the personal interviews and written interviews. Involve the universities. Get a dean of students from a reputable university to chair that committee that is going to interview the president. Is going to interview the person who is aspiring to become a judge or a magistrate. Then once you've done that, recommend that to the president just to put a signature. And the president put a law that the president has no right to refuse or reject anyone that has been recruited through that independent body. Once that body does that, dissolve it. This is how you can make this judiciary independent. Because whoever is going to be a judge from the lowest rank has got it on merit. Has got it on merit. Once you have that kind of a judge, he will be not afraid of the president, because the president will have no powers of firing that person and does not have to play any role in recruiting that person. No. If that is sin, that president must be held accountable. Now, you'll be saying, how can this be done? Yes, this person will be having meetings. There'll be a model of communication with the judge and the president. But he will have no powers to, if he doesn't like the judge, tough. If the president doesn't like the magistrate, tough. There's no way he would say, I don't like Mr. Piri there as a judge. I don't want him. Remove him. No. Nobody. That one will only be removed according to, again, the statutes that will be provided for and the rules regarding the judges. Now, this is just a summary of exactly what should be done in order to make the judiciary independent. Of course, you'll be saying, but what of the police? How would the police be able to be independent? Because right now the police don't even operate independently. They are afraid of the president. They are afraid of the Inspector General of Police. That's why they can't do anything until these chain of command has been satisfied. Police must be given what is due to them. They must be given the authority and the power to do what they have learned in their training. They should not compromise their work because their boss have told them to do this. No, they should do accordingly. That's what we need in order to have the independence of the police. And they should not be afraid of the Inspector General of Police. Of course, the Inspector General of Police is their boss. They should not be afraid. They should be able to respect. And the Inspector General of Police, it will be very difficult for him to recommend a constable to be fired. How? Because he has all these people below him. So, in other words, the youths are very frustrated because the police are not able to do their work, because their hands are tied because of the rule of man. They have to wait for the man to tell them, an individual to tell them, or individuals of people to tell them what to do. Even when there's a problem, there's a riot, they'll be told, oh wait, we have to get information from the president. Even when you arrest somebody, you say, oh, the person you've arrested is related to the minister. Is related to this, so can you release this person? So the law is now seen to be made for the poor people.